So I'd say one of my main purposes in life right now is trying to help empower men to realize they have way more control over themselves than they're made to believe by the rest of the world. So it is possible to handle urges to look at porn. This is so crucial to understand. But you're being taught all the time by everyone around you that you actually can't handle urges, and it's going on in ways that you're not even aware of right now. I mean, this is what happened to me for 9 years, trying to do the traditional sort of NoFap advice, and I was receiving all these sort of advice that seemed really clever and really practical and helpful. And don't get me wrong, 100% well-intentioned. The people coming up with this advice are trying to help people, but I really don't think it's actually helping people, because the type of advice I would receive is things like, set up your environment for success. So make sure that maybe your room and your apartment is tidy and clean and you've got things in the right place, and maybe you remove any triggers to look at pornography, install some blockers, and also stay really busy. Get on your purpose and make sure you have a really active lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, I think these things are fine. It's not like doing these things is necessarily wrong if the intention is just to stay busy if you want to have an awesome life and you want to go create some cool stuff, or you want to live in a nice tidy environment. I think, yeah, go ahead, do these things. It's just when you're doing these things to try and quit an addiction, that's when things go wrong. That's when you actually end up feeling very powerless, because what's really going on behind these kind of techniques and tools? Well, essentially what's going on is you are being told by the therapists and by the experts out there all over the world that you actually don't have control over your brain. You're being told this underlying message of you can't handle urges, because why would you set up an environment where you remove the triggers, you install the blockers, and you stay busy? Why would you set up your life in that way if you could actually handle urges? If you could actually handle the addicted neural pathways and the addicted part of the mind, you wouldn't need to go and avoid your whole life the cravings, the urges. You would not need to try and avoid that. And here's the reality, right? The reality of addiction is that the brain is addicted, and these addicted neural pathways create cravings. That's how addiction works. So if we're going to try and avoid the cravings, we're not actually going to have success in changing the addicted neural pathways, because we need to have the cravings to change the addicted neural pathways and build new neural pathways in our brain. This is so important. And yeah, essentially there's just this false idea that people can't handle their urges. That's what all of that advice is based on. It's based on that premise, that concept. And we need to basically undergo a whole paradigm shift in the way that we view our ability to deal in the moment with sexual cravings. So essential, because if you do this, then you will gain permanent mental freedom. And that is why I really want people to understand and realize that they always have a choice. Between thought and action, there is a choice. But how do we actually do that? Well, you need to be strategic. We need to have a plan of action for those moments that we do have the urges, because in those moments you have the urge, the prefrontal cortex is not quite as active. The rational part of the brain is not quite as active right now. Devise your plan when you are in a rational state of mind. If you're watching a YouTube video right now, chances are you're not in an urge. So you want to devise your plan now, not when the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, isn't quite as active. So be proactive in making a strategic plan. So just write down a script for yourself. I mean, we have very personalized scripts in our program for clients, but essentially what you need to put in your script is an option A and an option B. I'd say that's really important, or at least just have some kind of way of understanding the consequences of what happens if you actually engage and look at porn. And then what happens is you rewire for good. That's how you actually change the addicted neural pathways. But you got to be proactive here. You got to have your plan of action. You got to know how you're going to deal with those urges. And then when you have the urge, all right, sweet, let's read the script. Let's make our choice. Gain permanent mental freedom. That's how it works. So hopefully this video helps. I know it's a bit of a simplified version of the whole Beyond Compulsion method. So if you do want to learn more about that method, the one that's worked for me, there is a link in the description and you can get some free training. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.